Hey man, is Texas doing something where it is simulating or how can I put this? Placing itself in the situs of someone else, i.e., there's a mayor in here in actual Texas that got busted with her developer husband for crime, which sounds a lot like another person in the federal level now who didn't used to be the federal level, right? She used to be on the local level. And she had a developer husband too, right? And somehow people keep getting her mixed up with the senator from California, right? And then they keep like swapping out. And so all of those deals on the witness list that were set up for the senator somehow end up getting mistaken for the speaker. And so now the governor, the alleged governor, he's not really a governor, by the way, he has no actual constitutional authority, is signing an alleged bill, which is a major, major act of securities fraud regarding fentanyl. Is that to piggyback off of, what is it called? The bill regarding meth? The meth bill that they proposed? They have a whole bill about meth. See, they've been doing this thing with their telemedication where they've been experimenting on creating manipulations of radio frequency in order to simulate the kind of surges that come when people are having particular kind of drug-induced experiences so that you can actually correlate and coordinate a spike in the targeting of them with directed energy, and then it compels them to have an emotional outburst. And with all of their little Nazis that have already been signed up as part of their civil service army and their healthcare providers, and especially now with COVID-19, we're all supposed to be so extorted into just seating whenever we see scrubs. That now it's about your behavior. It's about you acting out as opposed to whatever you might say. If your voice is too loud, it doesn't matter what you say. If your voice is too low, it doesn't matter what you say. The whole point is to get you to demonstrate your loyalty to their preferred political agenda based upon the way you act in connection with the cues they give you for what you're setting up in the moment that is supposed to materialize later on. But you never get to seal the deal later on if you don't acclimate in the moment in order to be able to hook the deal up. And so, what's the deal that got hooked up? Well, I mean, apparently, did they just do that? Did they just swap out all of that good meth that they had going in California, people have been dealing with for years, especially if they got accounts from California working through you, regardless of where you are? Nobody wants to talk about, right? And now they're going to swap that down here? Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. So, all that shit for people like me that was on the streets. I was on the streets for 3 years while they were testing that shit out, right? And then you get angry and you jump off because you're actually in physical fucking pain. And you can hear what's going on in their background. And nobody wants to acknowledge that. So even if you get some time where you could try to reacclimate or you could try to readjust, well, I mean, they're just going to swap it out again. And nobody's ever going to call anybody out. Okay. I'm calling you out. That meth bill was an actual fucking crime. It is one of the most horrendous travesties that it was ever even allowed to be proposed. Everybody that signed on to it is aiding and abetting some of the worst acts of narco-terrorism that have ever happened. And if you guys in any way, shape, or form agreed to co-conspire, including through some simulation that you got some beef with the Texas Republicans, this little like party shtick, it doesn't do any good. Because again, you're doing that thing where you're just putting the rest of us in the crossfire while you're trying to make hedges or cover hedges. See, because this is the thing, that bust isn't actually going to hit Pelosi. All that does is provide insurance coverage for her and her husband and for other people like them. The rest of us are the ones that got to fucking deal with it, right? The rest of us are the ones that are going to be caught in the crossfire. And somebody's going to say, well, we already made that deal. We busted the mayor and we busted her developer husband for wire fraud. So how much longer before you're going to get an actual political corruption case? I mean, that met your quota, right? You gave that little deal, that should shut it off. Shut her up, get them some insurance coverage, and then keep going. This is just like the shit you did last summer with all those Black Lives Matters protests, when you strategically murdered people in correlation with actual bond deals that were pending at the time, who had named references to cases that provided you with insurance. And up until this point, you're even talking, you got fucking Yellen talking about how they're doing everything they can to avoid a default. You guys are the ones that defaulted. Our default is that we have not been able to successfully eradicate political corruption. Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, on one hand, it's great, right? It's nice that that happened. On the other hand, that's not even the fucking point. When are you gonna prosecute them for what they did with that meth bill? When are you gonna get Abbott out of the fucking driver's seat of a vehicle that's not even supposed to be in his possession right now?